My name is Tatiana. I'm from Games for Change, and on behalf of Games for Change, we are really delighted to be a part of this event, a part of this celebration that celebrates young voices, and not only as the people who are shaping the future of game industry here in Poland and internationally, but also the young voices who are shaping the future. And today I really want to talk to you about how we can use the games to really make our world a better place. And today we spoke a lot about gaming industry, and we know that the gaming industry is massive. Half of the world population is playing games, and combined all the industries, creative industry and even sport, we are much bigger. And what's really powerful, it's not even the reach, but also something that has made gaming really different from any other sort of media. And that thing is the power of engagement. No any other media, whether it's advertising, film, art, any sort of stuff, does not provide you active engagement. Only in games you can be in control. You can create your own story, you can make choices. And another great thing about the games is you can play it by yourself. You can create your own narrative, but also you can connect with other people across the world without leaving the comfort of your home. And I know that at the beginning, when we started talking about using games beyond something rather than pure entertainment, we met a lot of skepticism. And skepticism from both sides. Of course, from the parents, from the teachers, the public figures. They were telling us that the games might be harmful. The games might be meaningful. It might be something, a waste of time. And now you want to take such serious issues, or you want to use it for educational learning. That's absolutely shallow. And another portion of criticism that we received was from the gaming industry itself, because what they were saying, you are stealing fun from the games. Games, it's all about escaping the reality, and now you want to bring players again back to the reality that sometimes it's sad and sometimes it is disturbing. But what's really great now that the narrative is changing. There is enough research to show that the games have massive potential beyond pure entertainment. But also not only the research, but the players itself are saying that there is a massive change in the way that how you think after playing the game, how much better you can solve the problems or improve your cognitive skills, but also the real change in the way that you feel after playing the games, whether it brings you joy, whether it's bringing the connection with your family and friends, or simply makes you relaxed. But what's really interesting is not only the change in the way that we think or in the way that we feel, but really games have massive potential to influence us and inspire different actions. And the impact comes from many different ways, whether it's bringing awareness about different issues, whether it's really bringing people together, or even changing the neuroconnections in our brains. And we know very good examples of, here you see the Dumb Ways to Die, which was originally the campaign for railway safety. And after watching this campaign, about 30% of the railway accidents were avoided. And here we do have the example of Pokemon Go, where people believed it just was a game, but what Pokemon Go actually did is it made people go outside. It made people explore their community, and it made people move, which is in our world sometimes it is a challenge. And the most important, of course, people were enjoying it. And I guess now it's not really new idea, and even like today with the students' games that we have, we really saw a few really amazing games that were tackling serious issues, right? And some people use the terms of, like serious games, but we won't call them serious. There are still games. It's just the games that talk about something that is beyond entertainment, and currently the games are already used widely for learning, education. Some of the games already became digital medicine and could be prescribed to treat PTSD and some other mental disorders. But I guess you may ask fairly, but if games always had such massive potential, why it's so important now? And the reason why it became possible now is, first of all, as I said, the narrative has changed. A lot of people recognize that there is something much bigger behind the games, but also the players, they're not looking for pure entertainment anymore. They really want something that speaks to them, something that aligns to their own values. And another thing, we do have organizations that are really looking for completely different ways to engage their audiences. If the corporation wants to send a message that speaks to the audiences, what is the best way of doing this? As our previous panelists say, we pay to avoid the advertising. We pay not to be disturbed, but I guess our organization and specifically important stakeholders and the funders and even our government, they are looking for the ways to engage with the audience, and they want to find where the audience is. And of course, the last thing is the technology. And every one of us has the phone in their hands. So, and instead of building the infrastructure, we can reach everyone anywhere with the just quick click on the phone. And I guess what's really important that now it's not a question if games can be used beyond entertainment. The question is how. And I guess this is how Games for Change appeared. 20 years in New York, the organization was created with a very simple mission of how we can use games to create positive impact in the world and eventually make our world a better place. And 20 years after, we built a really strong community, and we're really proud of our community, and we call it very unique because we do have everyone. We do have everyone together at the tables. It's not only gamers, not only people who create games. There are also people who are educators, people who are students, people who are researchers. But what's important is also not only people from the business and the companies, but also even bigger than this, the policymakers, the people from the government, and even now the UN agency. We became an official representative of being the gaming partner of the UN agencies for achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. But also, even though we are originated from the States, we are growing bigger. And currently, we do have the representation of the majority of the continents in Africa, Asia Pacific, Latin America, and we are growing all the time. But you might ask of how we do this, and we do three main things. First of all, is really running in events, something like this. We do run annual Games for Change Festival in New York, but also around the globe, different summits that help to promote games in the solution of really wicked problems, whether it's education, healthcare, or civic engagement. Of course, we work with our educators and the students, both in higher education and the typical school system, to teach them game design and how games could be used as their progressive tools for learning. And of course, the last thing is building partnerships and really meaningful project development. And here you do have an example. This is the latest addition to our portfolio, our collaboration between Minecraft Education and Nobel Peace Center that came us with the great idea of how can we bring the stories of Nobel Peace laureates who fought for peace, to bring those stories digitally and help kids to relive those stories and understand what peace is really about and how we can win peace and don't need to win the war. And of course, another thing that actually we're doing that also is happening today, very similar one, but on the next level, is the Games for Change Awards. We really want to celebrate those people who create games that help us to change lives. And interestingly enough, this year, the games that were published by 11-Bit Studios, they won our Game of the Year award, even actually 2 awards. The other one was the Best Narrative. But also 10 years back in 2015, the War of Mine, which was produced by 11-Bit Studios, won also another award. And speaking about this game, it also one of the first games that was included in the official curriculum by the Department of Education in Poland to really be listed as a resource to be studied by students to find out a little bit more about history. And I guess because I'm speaking today at the Students' Festival, you can ask, but what is there for us as for students? And I guess it was briefly mentioned this morning, is we really believe in their power of youth. And we do understand that you will face the problems that we cannot even imagine yet. And unfortunately, we cannot give you the solutions. We cannot give you the answers. We don't even know ourselves. But what we really hope we can do is give you the mindsets and the skills to meet that unknown. And this is how the Student Challenge originated. It started in New York with a really small group of students where we say, how about challenging the students to use the medium that they really understand well and that they already love in order to solve the problems of today. So originally, we only ran this program for the kids at school, just to see how it goes. But over the 10 years, the program grew bigger and bigger. So, and this year, it's going to be the 12th edition of the Student Challenge. And actually, only last year, there was the first edition where we introduced this challenge to the university students. And we already received massive feedback, very positive feedback. And last year, we had 91 countries participating in the program. So I think that's quite a lot. But what is the Student Challenge? Student Challenge is the game design program and a competition where we invite students to learn about social impact themes and social impact game design. The way we do this is, first of all, we do have our online learning center where the students can learn a little bit more of how you design the games to produce certain type of impact, not just the entertaining one. You can also learn about the themes, and I'll talk a little bit later. Also, we all understand that it's very easy to come up with the idea of the game, but it's very difficult to start developing the game, but also the most important to finish that game. So that's why, as a way of engagement, we really invite students either to run or join our game jams. We are an official partner with Global Game Jam, to run our student game jams. We run them all over the world. Last year, we ran more than 150. So we really invite you to look at something that maybe you would like to participate. And of course, the main thing is the competition. As the competition, every year in September, we are announcing 3 impact themes and invite our students to develop the games. Starting from November, the competition portal is going to be open and it will close at the end of March, where we take some time to evaluate the games and announce the winners. So, and speaking about the themes of the year, each year we try to choose the partners that will bring the problems that really not only easy to understand, but also has the most impact. And this year we're collaborating with World Food Programme on a theme that is called Outgrow Hunger, basically on how we can help to tackle the problem of hunger all over the world, just caring about the nature in our own communities. Because sometimes we think about those global problems and we think like, oh, there is nothing that I can personally do. You can. It's much closer than you think. The second one, which we think is quite exciting because everyone likes racing games, but the theme is called On the Road. So it's all about the road safety, but you don't have to think about it only in the traditional way, whether it's traffic rules or traffic safety. What we invite you to think is slightly higher than this. Imagine we now stepping into the era where we do have self-driving cars. How do you, as the car manufacturer, making sure that those cars are safe? How you are, as the city planner, making sure that the pedestrians are safe when something like this is moving around? And of course, the last one, which we think is always important, and in one way or another, we're trying to include this. And this year, it's All In for Nature. We are partnering with Playing for the Planet just to make sure that we do continue making steps in order to preserve our nature and tell the stories of how that could be saved. And unlike the student awards that are happening today, we do have many categories because we know it's really difficult to find one that is the best. So that's why we want to celebrate and we want to recognize the effort in many different ways. Of course, there is the category for the best game in each theme, but also depending on the tools that you use, whether it's a digital one, you can also submit the tabletop game as well, but also for those who do have the ideas about the games, but maybe do not have the capacity or desire to really code them and develop fully. We do have 2 categories, which is the character design, where you can still create the impactful story, but instead of creating the game, you're just creating the character for this game and telling the story of the impact that it can make. And also this year, for the first time, we decided to expand our participation, but people who work not specifically in game, but kind of more digital art field. And this is the best game trailer. So instead of creating the full game, you can just create a very good and strong idea of the game that might be appealing and built later. So I guess I'm not going to take much more of the time and explaining to you what the competition is about. But what I really want is invite you to go learn a little bit more of what the competition is about. The competition just started in September, so you've got time until March to go to the website to learn about our themes, to see if there is something appealing to you. Also this year, because we are expanding the participation to the university-age students, and I know a lot of you participate in different game jams, but what is really important for us as the Games for Change is empower the new generation. And instead of just going and participating in the game jams, we are inviting you to organize your own game jams using the materials that we provide as the Games for Change. And of course, we really invite you to submit your games. Maybe there was something that is closer to the theme that you're already developing. You can submit the teams by yourself or as a team up to 4 people. And it doesn't have to be fully developed game, fully published game. It only has to be a playable prototype. It can be 1 level, or it can be something that really will give the judges the idea of what is that all about. And I guess today we really saw that there are many games that have amazing potential to change our world. And I think the whole day we were speaking about how big the industry is, how powerful the games are, how massive we are. And I just want to remind you that with the great power comes great responsibility. And I think you've got it. And please, guys, we need you. Join our movement. Thank you so much. I'll be around if you have any questions about the Student Challenge or what the Games for Change does. Please come. Thank you.